This weekend, it finally happened. We saw the Trump administration come forward and say that the Bitcoin strategic reserve, and more so the crypto strategic reserve, is on the way. It consists of numerous currencies. And of course, you've probably already seen this on Twitter and other YouTube channels. But right now, we're seeing a huge retrace. Yesterday, when this news came out, we got all the way up to almost 95K on Bitcoin. And now we're really falling like a knife. And at this point, we're at 88K as of recording this. And why could this have potentially been a trap? And if you were buying whenever this news came out, you may have already been too late to capitalize on the upside of this momentum. And really, what is going to be the catalyst and the shift that's going to bring longer term money into the space? Because right now liquidity is pretty dry. As much as we like to say that the altcoin reserve, Bitcoin reserve is really bullish for crypto, it is more of a short-term catalyst, and we're seeing it completely collapse in front of our eyes as far as the candle that we printed yesterday now just completely reversing. So we're going to go over in this video what catalyst could we have to finally send us into a more sustainable bull run. But on top of that, what does this mean for the future of the space? And of course, what am I looking at in the market right now? Because there are some really good opportunities out there to still make money in the market. So without further ado, let's jump into the game, guys. If you are new to the channel and of course, enjoy the videos, like and subscribe to the channel down below, and leave your thoughts in the comment section about the strategic reserve, your thoughts on the market, or anything we talk about in this video. And of course, a big shout out to our sponsors here on the channel. We have 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏, Moon Tropica, Medieval Empires, as well as CRADLE Games, and all of our exchange partners. You can check out our exchange partners in the description down below. I highly recommend Blowfin. I'm in the United States. It's really hard to be able to trade on some of these other exchanges, but Blowfin, no KYC. You can jump right in. You get an immediate bonus on your account if you sign up and start trading. So I highly recommend checking out Blowfin in the description down below. And let's just jump right into it, waste no time. Obviously, we see the candles that have been printed on Bitcoin. We got up to almost 95K. Now we're sitting at 88, and it's literally just falling as I've been recording this. So obviously not a good thing. We see the Ethereum chart as well. If we just pull up Ethereum on the weekly, we saw the sharp rise up to 2,500. Now we're back to 2,200. We saw Solana yesterday. Solana had a really nice bounce back up to almost 180. 178, now back at 153. So this strategic reserve pump has basically already reversed. So in a couple minutes, I'm going to go over why this is the case. If you were buying after this news, you are thinking about crypto totally wrong. And I'll go over my strategy, what I'm doing in the market, and of course, some of the opportunities I'm seeing to make some money in these current market conditions. But we had some big stuff going on in the crypto gaming world this weekend. We saw the Parallel Prime World Championships $250,000 tournament over in Las Vegas. The first ever Parallel World Champion was crowned this week, taking home $100,000 in prizes. So pretty cool to see. And of course, for one of my favorite altcoins in the entire cycle, the Prime token, they continue to over deliver. They have their own blockchain coming up. They're one of the best trading card games in all of crypto, obviously. And this esports event, I would consider an overall success, even though it was during a time of the market where it's just kind of like, it just felt out of place almost because of the market conditions. But regardless, they also revealed their third-person shooter this week, the Sanctuary game, which I heard some people got to demo that. Looked pretty cool. They have AI integration. Prime stakers are able to earn the prompt token, and they have Parallel Colony, which is an AI game. So to me, Prime has everything you want from an altcoin this cycle. It's going to have a chain, it's AI integrated, it's one of the best games in all of Web3, and it's been here for quite some time at this point, and they haven't had a single time where you feel like, oh, this project is falling off. So for me, Prime has been one of the most sustainable ecosystems, and very good to see their success over this weekend. And then we see Off the Grid, of course, also hosting with Parallel. They were kind of like a side event during this time period. They had $6,000 in prizes on just some show matches, basically for fun, just giving out some prizes. And they had a huge update this week, new regions in the map, new cyber limbs, first street event, new side missions, content packs, battle pass upgrades, and more. So big news across parallel and off the grid. And like I said, I would consider their event this weekend a success, but given where it was in the market, it just felt, like I said, kind of out of place, but it is what it is. I do think crypto gaming had a really good weekend, however, just as far as developments across all of these projects. We see On-Chain Heroes still doing very well. It's, kind of a Ponzi type of game, but they have their Dungeons update going live today. So crypto gaming did have a pretty good weekend here in the market. And of course, I would say this weekend was great for the longer term time horizon in crypto. So let's go ahead and just jump into the main topic of the show, because outside of this, there's not a lot of news to cover. I mean, a lot of these narratives right now are very quiet, not a lot happening, but at the same time, like I posted this, and I say this on this show all the time, guys, is that long-term time horizons are going to beat short-term time horizons every single time in crypto. So, the peril whenever you're looking at doom posting on Twitter when we're going down, and then the euphoria going up, you kind of have to eliminate this noise, and you have to form your own thesis, right? And I talk about it all the time. I'm not playing for tomorrow or next week in crypto. I'm playing cycle by cycle, and I'm also playing for the long term. So your long-term time horizon is going to beat your short-term thesis every single time. Things can change, bullish, bearish, in an instant. And we just saw yesterday that basically anything that Trump says regarding crypto or any of these updates is going to send the Bitcoin. We're down to 87K. I mean, we're just falling like a knife, like I said during this show. And the title of this show is literally like trap. The thumbnail should say trap ? Because we see how volatile this can be now. Trump has complete control of the markets. Pentoshi tweets, promises made, kept. He's kept basically every promise he came through with. Ross being freed, war on crypto ended, crypto strategic reserve, government waste, IRS cut down, free speech protected. He has done almost exactly what he would say, the tariffs and all this stuff. So now the market's at this place where we really need a more long-term catalyst, or we just need this stuff to play out, because the market is acting so starkly on everything right now that the administration and Trump is saying. If Trump says tariffs, the market goes down. If Trump says strategic reserve, the market goes up. But right now, these pumps are just already being priced in, or they're quick pumps, and then we're right back to the retrace that we were sitting at just a matter of days ago. So we really need to give this time and actually see crypto come to the forefront, be prioritized. They're talking about American-made coins, stuff like, Bitcoin, Solana, ADA, Ethereum, all these things are packed inside of this potential strategic reserve. So I do think long-term, this is going to be a massive catalyst for crypto. But I do think also yesterday, if you were buying, I think that is by far the worst time to have been buying crypto, okay? And we talk about it on this show. My long-term portfolio, I'm accumulating when prices are low, but I'm definitely not going to start buying on a day where we see just 2 days ago up at 78K, going up to 95K just 2 days later. You should be buying here and not here. Like, you need to buy that extreme fear. Fear was at 10 on the fear and greed index. It was the lowest we've seen in such a long time. So right now you have to be considering, if I was about to buy after 94K, whenever the strategic reserve was announced, as a crypto investor, and especially if you're newer in the crypto space, you have to wonder what is going to send it higher in the short term than that announcement. There's nothing. That was the catalyst, right? So if you were buying, then that is an absolute, I think that is a mistake. And from a psychology perspective, you have to take a step back. From a logic perspective, you're thinking, well, this is great for crypto long term. I'm comfortable to buy here. And that's where the long-term time horizon comes in. But if you were buying off that news thinking it was just going to keep catapulting upward in the short term, I think that is a completely wrong mindset. But that's why we talk about on this show is buying and holding, playing for the cycle. Don't get washed out on these news events. I saw tons of liquidations happening today. Again, over $100 million in liquidations. So I do think this was a bit of a trap. I think the markets were collapsing. I think it was the right time for them to potentially come out and say, look, the crypto strategic reserve is happening. But at the same time, these types of things will cause this, right? The good old retrace of everything. You lean in your gaming chair, you think the strategic reserve is going to just infinitely pump our bags, and then you end up on the floor. So this is one of those things in crypto. You don't want to buy into these big news, like you want to buy rumors and sell the news, but you also want to buy the red, okay? We have BlackRock who got their customers in. Think of the whole thesis here. BlackRock got their customers in to the ETF at 67K. So that is a key level, okay? I don't know that we'll probably ever see 67K or lower, at least until the full-blown, bear market. And on top of that, we're still in a quantitative tightening period. On the last show, I showed a chart about how money supply, currently it was in a downtrend. But if we start printing money, if we do a Doge stimulus for people who feel like, as Elon and Trump have said, have overpaid on their tax payments or whatever the case is, the misappropriation of tax, and they start printing some money and going into a risk-on environment, that is very good for crypto. So those are the things that we need, and then actual implementation and accumulation of these tokens by the US government to form this strategic reserve. So look, short term, it was absolutely a trap, but long term, it gives you this vision, okay? You hit all these top coins here on the screen right now that are made in the USA. And we see yesterday the announcement included XRP, Solana, ADA, Ethereum, Bitcoin, etc. But for me, I'm looking at what could eventually be announced into this, okay? And I think that there are absolute clear candidates for this. And some of the more boring stuff that I don't really care for and don't have a thesis on, I would say HBAR, probably like Hedera, it's like a really well integrated project. I would imagine that eventually goes into the strategic reserve. But another one I'm highly bullish on, you guys know this, is Avalanche. And Avalanche is a coin made in America. The CEO of Avalanche sits on some of the boards for the US financial, different committees and stuff like that. So when I'm looking at Avalanche, this is the clear-cut one in the future that I think could be included into a strategic reserve. And I think that there are footprints to show that this is tangibly the case. If you look at the tea leaves, okay, they already work with entities like JP Morgan, Citibank, a ton of these, wealth management firms, but most importantly, BlackRock. So BlackRock did launch a liquidity fund in the past on Avalanche, and BlackRock has their hand. They are the financial cartel. So tangibly speaking, I think Avalanche is a clear candidate to eventually be a part of something like a strategic reserve. And what good timing to potentially get involved in this ecosystem, as $850 million has inflowed into Avalanche over the past 90 days. And a lot of this has to do with meme coins and pre-sales. But on top of that, there are more sustainable legs like RWA, like AI, like DeFi, like gaming with off the grid, MapleStory, etc. But right now, the big narrative is pre-sales. People are getting involved. The Solana casino, as it has died out, we've seen pump fund revenues and pump fund volume just completely collapse. And here is that data. Miles tweeted about this here. Volumes on pump fund are now back to summer of 2024 levels, which has showed a stark decrease as far as the amount of pump fund volume, pump fund revenue, and meme coins. The casino has definitely slowed on the Solana side, but it is just getting going on the Avalanche side, okay? Today we had another one go live, 500K market cap for anyone who got the pre-sale. It is now sitting at a $6 million market cap. This is the Error token. It's at 6.3 million. I actually did not get this pre-sale. I, for some reason, was declined. We all feel that way, okay? I was declined on Blub. I was declined on Error. It happens. But I did get an allocation into Albert, which is coming up, which I think is going to be a really good opportunity. But personally, I think that this could be a good trade, especially if Albert or Blub don't launch in the next few days. I think that Error could go 10 mil plus. It could be an easy little swing. I would be taking profits diligently here, as a lot of people are in the green, but I would watch this chart sitting at 6 million. It is the latest. This launched today on the Avalanche chain, so there are opportunities. But on top of that, we have the Albert launch coming up. We have Blub coming up. I'm very bullish on Albert. I think Albert's AI, it's gaming, the art is fantastic. But we also have Wolfsdale token coming up, which I think long term is the most sustainable of all of these pre-sales. Whether it's Albert, Blub, Error, Wolves DAO, I would take the WOOF token every single day, and their airdrop checker is live. So last week we told you guys, go apply for the airdrop. You can check out woofai.tech and go see if you did qualify for this airdrop. So right now there's a lot of things going on Avalanche, but the tea leaves and just kind of reading between the lines here, I think Avalanche is the #1 American-made project that hasn't been officially announced into the strategic reserve that 100% will find its way into the strategic reserve. So that would be my made in USA play as far as when I'm looking at the longer term scope of crypto. And right now, guys, I would be sitting on your hands. This show is not about which coins to buy, okay? Because I definitely think we're going to retrace even further from here. And if I'm wrong, I'm happy to be wrong. But I think yesterday was a bailout. I think the market was going to crap. We saw here we got as low as 78K. And Bitcoin is supposed to be this precious asset for the Trump administration and be this precious financial future, you know, kind of equaling the playing field, so to speak, right? It's this global currency that could be the future of finance. And we saw all this talk leading into the election. We saw all this focus on tariffs. It did feel like a little bit of a bailout at some way and in some levels to get us out of the weeds, but I don't think we're out of the weeds yet. I would not really be allocating further than what I am currently, right? If we went into a risk on climate, we see some money printing, whatever the case is, I'd absolutely allocate a little more into smaller cap coins or take a little more risk. But I did post my updated portfolio video last week. I would go check that out. I'm sitting tight. I have my top chains, ETH, AVAX, Solana, etc. I have my Bitcoin. I have my gaming coins, Super, Ronin, Prime, Beam, Zentry, etc. I have my AI coins. I'm in stuff like Render, Tau, GPU, Neural AI, Heart, etc. RWAs, I'm in Mantra as well as World Mobile Token. That is one, I think World Mobile's been making some crazy strides recently as far as DPIN and RWA, and now they're officially part of the Wi-Fi Alliance with industry leaders like Apple, AT&T, Cisco, and Qualcomm. So their network is taking huge steps forward, and I do like the World Mobile Token as far as real world assets and also real world applications is kind of the way that I term it. And I think that World Mobile Token has a very bright future ahead. And that is one that I would maybe take a look at these times of the market because it is beaten down quite a bit. But otherwise, guys, I'm sitting where I'm at. This is not the time where I'm adding tokens to my portfolio. If anything, the one thing I'm doing today is adding to Avalanche because it is, like I said, a made in the USA token. And when I'm looking at BlackRock integrations, Citi, JP Morgan, this just makes too much sense to me. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, like the video down below, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts on the market right now, because to me, that catalyst, what can take us higher in the short term than the announcement of the strategic reserve, right? We already have now the rumor of that this is happening. Even the day that we put the strategic reserve together or whatever the case is, like, that is the news, right? Now we have the rumor out there, which was already out there before this. The news came through, pumped the market, but what's next? What is going to be that catalyst? I am unclear at this point in time, but I think we just need the future to play out. We need a little more longevity. And like I said, that long-term horizon is going to beat the short-term horizon in this case. I would just stay right where you are in quality projects because right now the market is full of uncertainty. So guys, like the video down below, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see y'all on the next one. As always, play well, my friends, and stay bullish, my friends.